Wait, did they just say out of the Bible that it only was going to be a small remnant that was? Whoa, is that true?
And then vocab doing a report on how they got a consensus on the millions of Israelites that identify with Hebrew Israelism. I know y'all seen that. Him breaking down the stats of the millions of Jakes that believe that they're Israelites versus the millions of Jakes that they're kind of skeptical about it, and then the millions of Jakes that they're completely against it. Yeah. And that right there is scaring them.
Yep. Revelation 11 and 11. Yep. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. Yep. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
There it is.
Yep. Beautiful.
They seeing what was dead for a long ass time is coming back to life. You know?
Yeah. I've been not running from looking on my screen.
And they realize how much energy and how much you know, how much they put into keeping us in this position. Yeah. Let our eye look upon Zion. Yeah. Let her be defiled. Let us not suffer them to be put in the graves. You know, for a long time. But they understood that, hey, if we return back to the Heavenly Father, which is now through our Lord Yahushua, they got a fucking problem on their hands. Yep. So find that account. Go to that Judah, the 5th chapter. Start like around maybe 18, 19, 17. Maybe 17.
It's Judah 5 and 17.
And that was during the Assyrian captivity. Go ahead.
And whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered. Because the Most High hath hated iniquity was with them. Yep. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore. And they led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies.
That's what happened under the Babylonians.
Yep. But now are they returned to their power, Yahweh. Yep. And they are come up from the places.
Now you can imagine him saying this. He probably has a little dread in his voice, mentioning that, like a little fear, like, hey, they returned. Yeah. They coming back to the temple, rebuilding the temple. Their God is dealing with them again. Yep. We know what that means when their God is dealing with them.
And this is the similitude, no new thing under the sun happening again now.
Remember what the Lord said in the beginning. If I think it's in Exodus, the 23rd chapter, but he said that basically, if you hearken unto me, if you do what you're supposed to do, I will become an adversary to your adversaries. Yep. Remember? Yep. Somebody could get that too. Yep. Exodus 23, I think is like the 23rd verse, maybe. This is why they fear us coming back together, man. 23. Yeah, 20, yeah, yep, 22, 23, yep.
So, Exodus chapter 23 and verse 22, it says, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries.
And that's the worst thing that's like one of the worst things that can happen.
They're afraid of that.
Hell yeah.
They're afraid of that.
I got a precept to go with that.
Egypt, they found that out. Yeah. When the Most High is your op, and he comes with that smoke, Egypt will tell you. Yeah. Ancient Egypt. Yeah. When have they ever returned as a dominant civilization or a kingdom?
He made Moses a god before Pharaoh.
There it is.
So if we're one with our God, we're unstoppable.
Man.
There's nothing that could be done unto us.
And
He's gonna make us gods.
what did Paul say? If the Most High be with us, who could be against us? Yeah. I would be a adversary to your adversary, man.
God. He did have, and also when Elijah rained fire down from heaven when that army was trying to come to him.
Con.
I believe it happened like 2 or 3 times.
Con.
Yeah.
And that's reiterated in Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
When they try to make war with us, it said that fire would come down from heaven and devour them.
Right.
Revelation 20 and 9.
That also happened during the time of the Maccabees as well. You know.
We had times when in battle we had the angels.
Okay.
We was going out to battle with our enemies.
Yeah.
The Lord would open up our third eye and we would see chariots and horsemen up there deep.
Con.
Like, don't worry about it. Hey, we got this. We got spiritual forces right up there. So, hey, y'all gonna have y'all way. The Lord delivered them into your hands. Go ahead. You know?
And yeah, to the point where he had to humble us and not to get overzealous because of our numbers.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, no, I'm gonna throw down the numbers so you don't think it's by the numbers,
yeah.
the sheer numbers that I have.
Not by a host.
Yeah, that's why the scripture say victory cometh not by the multitude of the battle.
Yeah.
Exactly. See, and this is how, hey, the elites understand that. Because why is they taking forever to move on us? We don't know why. Because they see them chariots. They seeing them chariots, man, which are the angels. That's our standard, waiting.
Yeah,
They're waiting, man. That's why they're not trying to move so quick. But the Lord gonna make them move, because for the sake of prophecy.
Most High gonna force their hand.
He gonna force their hand, just like he did Pharaoh, so that the Lord can do what he did. He gonna do that again with this cracker, man, this devil. Yep.
This is an account from the.
And we do gotta finish that in Judith.
I'll just real
Go
quick.
ahead.
In 1 Samuel, chapter 4, and when the Philistines were taking the ark.
Yep.
And chapter 4 and verse 7, it says, and the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is come into the camp. And they said, woe unto us, for there had not been such a thing here before. Woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods?
Hey.
These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness.
That's right. And we can't forget about when Rahab said, hey, I remember I heard about what your God did in Egypt.
Those Philistines, they were the ancient Egyptians, right?
Yeah, they went up the same,
Mizraim.
yeah, they can go back to Mizraim. You know? Yeah. So, they understood that, man.
When David had his the house of David, when David was in power, all these other nations, they knew what time it was.
With our God, we got the money, we got everything. How can we go up against these guys? Hey, but how do we get taken down? By our own errors.
Exactly.
Our own errors will always bring us down.
Basically, Jake been their own destruction this entire time.
Yep.
You've been your own destruction this entire time, man. It's you. Because other than that, the Lord had us, man.
Yeah.
He had us. We was in the best position ever, man.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the battles, it was even a point when David got into a battle where it was so sore and dangerous that the Lord had to basically come and bring thunder. He had to bring lightning and thunder and scatter those armies. For David, that's the level of power he was dealing with.
Yeah.
You know, he shook the earth and sent thunder and lightning down just for the sake of his servant, man.
You already know this was no little. This was like striking motherfuckers, man.
Yeah. So that type of power, we still have it.
we still have the ability to be connected to it through the blood of Yahushua.
That's right. Yeah. And that's why eventually the Lord's going to lift up that standard. All right? You said you had something?
Second Chronicles 15, verse 2. And he went out to meet Asa and said unto him, Hear ye me, Asa, and all Judah and Benjamin. Yahweh is with you while ye be with him. And if ye seek him, he will be found of you. But if ye forsake him, he will forsake you.
Yeah. That's it, yeah.
You forsake him, he will forsake you.
That's why we have been forsaken. That's why it got down to the time of Hosea when he put us away. You're not my people. Because basically, as a nation, we are forsaken.
I had one in Hosea.
There was also another one in Jeremiah.
Says that it's
the second chapter.
Yeah, there was one in Jeremiah 15 where he said, even if who stood here? I think he said Samuel and was it Moses?
Yeah, Moses and it wasn't Elijah, was it?
It was two prophets. He said, but even if they stood before me,
Yeah.
even then I could my heart, my eyes could not be towards this people.
Yeah.
You know,
Showing you how angry you were.
I can't even look upon my people. That's how wicked and degenerate they became. Yeah, you can get it real quick.
So Jeremiah 15, verse 1.
And then get Isaiah 59 and 2.
It says, Then said Yahweh unto me, Though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
Cast them out of my sight, let them go, man.
Yep. And I ain't protecting y'all no more.
Yeah.
And that's when the heathen came in like a flood on us, man. They've been just coming in and getting licks and blows, man. With no kickback.
59-2.
Oh, I'm sorry. The brother had a question. I'm sorry, bro. I forgot about it.
You brothers mentioned about the different captivities. The northern kingdom was predominantly captive in Assyria, correct?
Yeah. Right.
And then they went to Americas after that.
Yeah.
So does that mean Persia, Greece, and Rome was predominantly the southern kingdom?
Yeah.
And then if Egypt and Egypt and America had all 12 tribes, then who was predominantly captive in Babylon?
Talking about this Babylon?
No.
Ancient Babylon? That was the southern
Man.
Yeah, when you go into the history of it, it'll break it down because the southern kingdom kept bribing the Babylonians to not go in unto them.
Okay.
And then that's when they was like, you got all this money to pay us off, we coming to take that. That's when they came and ransacked the temple. And then that's why was it Ezekiel that kept saying your treacherous, you saw what your treacherous sister was doing, and they about to go into captivity. You about to go too, because of all. It was Jeremiah, because of what you up here doing, because we were worshiping other gods and everything. So it was saying you didn't even notice what your sister tribe, so to speak,
Yeah, the northern kingdom.
Yeah,
what happened to them.
They going into captivity because look what they was doing, and you gonna continue doing it too. Now you about to go.
Now, both of y'all are not my people.
Yep.
Both the northern and the southern kingdom.
Yep.
Y'all not my people right now.
Yep.
Cast y'all out. The heathens can have their way with you.
When was that?
Huh?
When was that? When you just mentioned?
When it said you are not my people,
Yeah.
you can read that in Hosea.
Yep.
Hosea the 1st chapter, the 2nd chapter. Jeremiah the 3rd chapter about how you're gonna give Judah a bill of divorcement for playing
The harlot.
Yep.
That was during which time then?
the Babylonian Empire.
Which means Babylonian and Assyrian.
Okay.
Because there's different prophets.
Two time periods.
Yeah.
Because Assyria, that happened first.
Yep.
Then the Babylonians came right after that.
Yep.
Oh, I saw it's Egypt.
Assyria, Babylon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Egypt, Babylon, Assyria.
We just because it ties into this
Yeah.
Babylon, so we always seem to bring more to the forefront.
Okay.
And there were I don't want to say more prophets, but there was more writings about Babylon. And, so
But Assyria came first.
yeah.
Thank you.
That timeline is important, but what's going on is what's really going to tie you into how it pertains to today too, though. So it's always a good read to go back into that history. It's always good to tie in your understanding to it.
As Apostle Gabal always say, to know